All right, guys, we are live. I don't know if it's showing up on
She says, try Demon Seer.
Demons here. Okay, may have to send another email out. So until then, Betsy will regale you with fun and exciting stories.
We got to get the right
But yes,
information over to our guest tonight. And Demon Seer should give you a little
so I sent it to this one.
demonseer1@gmail.com.
Yeah, let's not give out her email on the live.
I'm sure it's on her website.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, how's everyone doing tonight? We are tonight we have June Lundgren on. It seems like we're having some complication with getting the link to her.
Try it without the one.
Demon, how do you spell that?
Yep, just like that.
Okay, but anyway, so how's everyone doing tonight? Did you hear about the hackers that broke into the gas line?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the full story, because there are people that are in the field of trading fuel that have said that it's not just the hackers. The hackers steal information, but they can't slow the actual transport of the product. And so they're seeing these outages for a couple of reasons. One, everyone was told there's going to be an outage in gas, so everybody went and drained their local fuel pump or their local fuel stations.
Okay.
And two, 1/5 of all of our crude oil in the United States comes from Texas. What happened in Texas not that long ago? That huge freeze that shut everything down.
Well, let me tell you the story as I know it from my humble novice opinion. Okay, so the story is there's a hacker group called we'll call them Dipshit International. Not a hacking, yeah, that's a hacking group, but there's also a group that works with the FBI that writes these hacking codes.
Wow.
Who sold the hackers the code to hack the stuff. Anyways, so the hackers hack all of the eastern seaboard's gas.
I'm glad
pipeline.
it's on the east. I feel bad for you guys, but I'm certainly glad it's not.
Anyways, I think once they recognize that they have,
send it to her on her messenger.
All right. Once they realize that they have hacked that, they suddenly say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we'll give it back." And then the code writers that works with the
FBI.
The FBI say, "Oh, we're sorry, we're going to have to vet those people that we sell our stuff to a little better." It is a crazy story that they're like, I heard the hackers' names. I forgot it already because, well,
Black something. I heard it too.
It's me, and I'm, not the smartest thing, but whatever. But I think that's just fantastic that well, not fantastic that they did it, but fantastic that they're like, I'm sorry. Half of a country, one of the larger countries on earth, I think, the second largest by population, is pissed. Like if this ever comes out, I mean, even now, if maybe that's why they did it, maybe that's not, I don't know, but it is kind of comical.
The third part that I heard is that the contracts when the Biden administration came in were all reworked, and in those contracts, there's a slowing point, and so it's got to get caught up. But I think most importantly is people, please don't buy out the toilet paper next. Okay, just relax. Get the gas that you need. You don't need to fill up.
Don't look in the back of my car, Betsy.
Drums and drums and drums of gas, because you're literally creating more problems.
Don't look in the back of my car.
If you've got drums and drums of gas and toilet paper.
Someone went to the store today
and bought lots of toilet paper.
And bought toilet paper. Because someone said, so I bought toilet paper, paper towels, wipes. I
think for a while now we're going to be feeling the effects of when the economy is brought to a screeching halt for a virus. Paper products are mostly imported, so those imports have been slowed or stopped at the port or just stopped altogether. Rental cars, forget it.
I chose Charmin, the extra strong.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I do not want to get in touch with myself.
Pretty soon you're going to have to be using your coffee filters. People don't slow down.
So like, wait a second. No, I would rather have the coffee filter for the coffee than she should be jumping on here in just a second. So anyways, June Lundgren is a demonologist, a medium. She is a
animal psychic.
Oh, now I would bring in the dozer, but it'll just be lap.
Yeah, the dozer would like you to know that you are her support person.
Lap and cat food.
Mm-hmm.
The dog won't eat dog food; she'll just eat cat food, and then inevitably puke it up on me.
My dogs eat absolutely anything. They're goats. They're literally goats.
Your dogs would love the little treats I have downstairs in the litter box.
Oh, gosh, they would. I spend half of my day saying, what have you got? Give it to me. Spit it out. What have you got? Give it to me.
All right. We're still waiting for her to sign on. So let's just do a quick tour of the news. See what's going on. We're having, for some reason, we're having it's still kind of a new process. So we're still not used to the link on our new process, but our new process allows us to go live.
Yes.
All right. So we'll see what's on the weird news. I just came loaded with the
pipeline issue.
With the pipeline issue and how they gave it back. I thought that was wild. Okay, so let's see. We'll check out the Huffington Post first. Okay, former manager of DoD Aerospace Threat Program. UFOs are real, and this looks like it's coming in group with that To the Stars Academy, which we still should do a show on that one time. I mean, it's kind of old now. It's kind of really a past tense type thing, but
it's kind of run its course.
Okay. Yes. I'll but anyways, Betsy, we'll let you dig something up real quick, because apparently we are still really having a time with getting this going, and all of our customers are there waiting for us. We'll see. Okay. All right. But anyways, yeah. So we're going to try this out. But yeah, so I just really think that is an interesting thing.
Did you hear everyone freaking out because Elon was on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
So we know you're a connoisseur of brewing. But let's talk for a second about the strangest alcoholic beverages in the world.
Okay.
So kumis is a traditional drink from the country of Central Asia, and it's made from milk, but not just any milk. It's made from horse's milk, so mares, and it's allowed to be fermented.
Where does it come from?
Central Asia.
Yeah, the Mongols did that. They used fermented mare's milk was their beverage of choice.
And then Indlovu gin is the liquor version of your elephant poop beer. They make a gin from the elephant poop.
What?
Yeah. So then there's also one called Mamma Mia pizza beer. That sounds disgusting. So they take an entire margarita pizza and they, after it's baked, they put it in like this bag and they dunk it into the beer mash. And then it infuses the beer with authentic Italian goodness. That gives you heartburn going in. So gross.
Oh.
Then you've got the sour toe cocktail. We have talked about this.
Oh yeah. That's the dead toe, the black toe, right?
Yeah. It's a shot of whiskey with a mummified human toe in it.
From that
hike.
Yeah, that hike.
Then there's also the Chinese and Korean have a use for baby mice. They make
baby mice beer?
Baby mice wine.
Oh.
It's infused with a dozen baby mice. The 2-day-old critters are added to the batch of wine while they're still alive. The only thing worse than baby mice wine is baby mice have drowned in your wine. That's not okay.
So they drown the mice.
They're 2-day-old critters and they're added to the wine while still alive. It's just, it's a delicate taste.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not unlike drinking gasoline. So, Far East, Chinese Tetsi Sambian Jew includes not one, but two bizarre ingredients. That's the name of the drink. It's the Tetsi Sambian Jew. And it has the fermented penises of deer and seal. I'm trying to spice up your brewing here.
Spicy is right.
I'm just trying to get you some ideas is all.
The deer of a fine young.
Listen, you put it out in your garage, you could have baby mice wine. And then there's one called Brewmeister Snake Venom.
What?
Yeah, it's a Scottish brewery. And they take, it's strong beer, 67.5%. Damn, that's almost 30% higher than regular whiskey. But it's a beer. And it's called Snake Venom because it's particularly strong. So it's like drinking snake venom. Sounds terrible. And then last but definitely not least, it's called Valor 2. And it is brewed with whale testicles. How are you harvesting these? I must know. Are you swimming about, castrating whales? Do they corral them like they do wild horses and the whale wrangler goes in?
And it's whale testicles?
Testicles. And where exactly
now
are these whale testicles found?
Are these whale testicles external like other mammals? Or are they internal like...
And are you harvesting the entire whale?
How deep do you have to go into said whale to gather the
and then do you harvest the entire whale and then use like other parts of the whale, or are we just talking testes, make your beer?
Just the rocky...
I've watched them round up the wild horses up on the Bannock reservation. There was this old guy, they'd run him into a pen and two younger guys would throw him down and he would cut him, throw him in a bucket, and spray the horse, and away the horse would go. Do we do that with whales? Is there whale roundups?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Those are some brewing ideas. You should share those with Eric. You guys could really come up with something to become famous for.
Oh, it sounds like someone already done beat us to that. Yeah.
The weirdest brews in history. Now, there's another one that hit the news yesterday that I found pretty interesting.
Okay.
Ukrainian authorities seize 1,500 bottles of booze. Now, the issue with this is not the booze. The issue is the booze is made in Chernobyl. Really? Eric commented, not interested. Thanks. Eric, you've got to broaden your beer horizons. So this is radioactive alcohol. So Chernobyl, as everyone knows, or most of us know, was the site of the infamous nuclear disaster, the meltdown. This happened in 1986, but the half-life of nuclear waste is really long time. So we're not even close to being its hottest. It's got like 100-year, I believe, half-life. So the way that the half-life will increase in intensity for the first 100 years before it starts to decrease. So they brewed it there, and it's radioactive.
Radioactive beer.
Yeah.
Hasn't that popped up in a lot of shows we've had? That consuming radioactivity
is not good for you.
Yeah. Brian says, I bet it's from the hunts, and each testicle is probably the size of a bed pillow.
They've got these giant vats. They drop in two big testicles.
Whale sperm beer. Oh.
You have to chew it.
Oh, I've already got liver problems. I do not need radiation.
Yeah. And the Ukrainian beer that was seized was actually bottled by an official British company. And their official statement was, we have no idea why they seized our beer. Yeah. Anyway, don't do anything in Chernobyl. That is a huge tourist trap. I can't imagine. People sneak in there and squat there. There are hundreds of squatters near the reactor that's so hot still that they're trying to build a giant canopy over it in attempt to contain the radioactive material that is still emanating from it. But people squat near it. It's like this challenge.
Like they go and spend a night there?
Weeks.
Spend a weeks?
Yeah, weeks. They like move in.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, it's not smart.
That is.
If any of you squatters are listening, go. Just leave.
That is testically insane. I was going to say utterly insane, but we're going for
the testicle show today.
For the.
We got to think of some really weird brew factors you guys could add to yours.
Why?
Why not?
Because I drink my own beer.
Live a little.
Yes. Eric says Jared wanted to use lake water. And he's a bit sharky about it. The reason I want to do that is to test a theory if it purifies the water, because I've heard that it purifies the water.
You've heard that lake water's purified?
That when you brew beer, it purifies it.
Well, how would you know? You're just going to see if you get giardia or what? Like
I would probably
test subject?
I would probably drink it and see what it did, but I would also try to send a sample off to have it tested by a microbiologist.
Do that first.
Why not do both?
Well, for the same reason you don't drink whale testicle beer.
I don't do that because I don't want whale testicles in my face.
Now, Dracula's castle is open again. And it offers visitors a free vaccine if you go.
What?
Yeah. If you go, you can get the vaccination. So instead, It's a vaccination center instead of just a tourist attraction.
Really?
Yeah.
Now this is the castle, the actual
The
one.
actual one. I could think of better things you could do with the castle.
I wonder if they sneak in a little suck your blood while they do it too.
Do they give it to you in the neck? Do they jab you twice? I don't know. It makes me want to not go there for that reason.
Yes. We are. I am so sorry, folks. We are trying and grinding. For some reason, there is a mix up in the link, but we will continue to talk about crazy stuff. Brian says, well, I've had my kids, so I can risk being sterile. Is that from drinking the radiation beer or the testicle beer?
Maybe it's your lake water beer.
Well, right now, they're probably one and the same. Because remember that Japanese nuclear meltdown?
Yeah.
Oh, we're probably still getting that going.
So here's another idea for you. Now, Eric, if you're listening, I've already figured out your name. I don't know if you've heard
Oh,
yet.
yes. The name of your brewery. Betsy commented that on the last happy hour, Betsy.
It must be Alabaster Brewing Company or ABC.
Yes, Alabaster Brewing.
So now if you make a wine and you are so inclined and you send it to space, upon its return, a connoisseur, so to speak, might pay as much as $1 million to own it. And that happened.
What now?
Yeah.
A guy sent wine into space, and then when it came back...
It was sent into space for more than a year in orbit aboard the International Space Station. And upon its return...
And it made it didn't get consumed?
Yeah. Upon its return, sold for $1 million. That's all you got to do. Find yourself an astronaut. Step one.
Step one. It's easy. Nothing to it.
Get him to make room in his luggage for your bottle of wine. That's step two. Then he's just got to orbit the Earth.
Wait a second. Is this illegal to do?
A couple of times.
Do we have to put it in a balloon? And
he can't drink it. So you've got to find a sober astronaut.
No, you put it in a balloon and then...
It's got to be in the bottle.
Put the bottle in a balloon.
And you were saying keister it?
To sneak it on. I mean, I imagine getting on the space shuttle, getting through space shuttle port security is pretty intense.
Well.
June Lundgren joined.
All right. Here she is. She's coming on right now. All right. We made
Holy
it.
crap. What a day.
A little bit of a fight, but that's okay. June is here.
Welcome, June.
We've just been chatting about
you may not want to know.
Different beers and stuff. Can you turn up your volume on your end a little bit?
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me see here. All right. Let's see. Turn up the volume. Is that better?
Maybe. And me and Betsy need to slide in a little bit closer to each other.
Eric says, what about some trout testicle beer?
Where's the trout? The trout testicles.
Trout testicles. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. We do have trout. We do have trout about 2 miles away from where I live. So
yeah, well, we've got a few around here. I've never quite gotten to where they are on a trout, and
you're gonna need someone to draw you a map.
That would have to be a detailed map, and I might need GPS coordinates on said trout. Yeah, I've never. And I've harvested and processed a few trout in my day. But yeah, all right. Eric says he can hear you fine, so you are good. All right, June. So June, The email you sent me, I noticed said 91 Charlie on it. That tells me you're a medic in the Army.
Yep.
All
91,
right.
91 Bravo, 91 Charlie. Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. Now, you're a demonologist.
No.
Not a demonologist.
No,
Okay,
no.
sorry. You're
That's a nasty word.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm a demon seer. They're
demon
totally
seer.
different.
Okay, sorry.
A demon seer is somebody that actually deals with demons.
And a demonologist
is someone who studies them.
So when you deal with demons, you mean like
it's like the code writer for a computer versus the actual person who uses the code.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I see them in their true form. I can understand them. They speak in Aramaic, and I can kill them and I can remove them.
Oh, okay.
I have so many questions.
When you see them in their true form, are they dressed, or do they look like people to everyone else?
Yeah, a lot of times they look like, what they do is they look inside your mind and they pull out your preconceived idea of what they should look like, and they amplify that about 10 times so they can scare the bejeebers out of you.
Okay, so if I train myself, the demon can be
an elephant, with a pink elephant riding a tricycle.
Yeah, or man, this demon would be embarrassed when I'm done training myself.
Tell us about yourself before we get too far down this thought. How did you know? That's terrifying.
Well, I read some of your stuff. It says it's a family trait in you, right? Kind of a
I remember I was raised by my maternal grandmother and grandfather for the first 6 years, and I was basically dumped off on them by my mother, and she left running out the door. But I've always been able to see demons in their true form. I've always been able to hear them, to understand them, to watch them. I never knew why, and I just know that Michael said when I was young, he was with me from the time I was born. He says, when I turned around 4 or 5, the way I saw demons changed. In the beginning, I just saw them as a black mass until about 4.5, something like that. Then I saw them in their true form. And at first it scared me. And Michael said, don't be afraid. He says, you're seeing it as we see them.
Michael?
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, you see them as we do. You see them with angelic eyes. And of course, when you're a kid, you don't think anything of it. He said, I want you to watch them. I want you to see how they work. I want you to just keep an eye on them. He says, they won't be able to see you because I won't let them see you. But I want you to study them. And so you're a kid, you're like, oh, okay, this is fun. I'll do that. And it was only after I died in a motorcycle accident and went to the other side that my grandparents were there waiting for me. And Michael was there. He says, you have to understand who and what you are. And I told him, I said, I'm just me. And he's like, no, you don't understand. And then he touched my forehead, and I relived all the physical world lives that I've ever lived back to this current one. And he says, look down at yourself. And when I looked down at myself, I looked a lot like him in the way that I was 7 feet tall, 12-foot wingspan. But my hair was like, it was a dark auburn. My eyes were ice greenish blue, and I had wings. And he says, this is who you really are. He says, not the shell that you live in. He says, you're Ariel, the archangel. I didn't even know who Ariel was. So I had to get online, and he says, look it up. I'm like, thanks, Michael. So I got online, and there's only a couple things you can find out about her, and that are known about her is that she's one of the 5 that guard the throne of God. And she is, her name means Lion of God. But because she's so much more than that, she's a demon slayer. If they have a group called the Legion of Light, and this is comprised of Michael, Ariel, Gabriel, and Raphael. And these would be like elite SEAL team, elite snipers team, the best of the best. And so that's what Ariel does best. And he said, you're going to have to start, removing demons. You're going to have to start dealing with them in the physical world, because this is your life. This is what you're
How
supposed to
old
be
were you
doing.
when this happened?
Let's see, how old was I? I was about 22.
Mm.
So this is prior to like your service, your
No, I left for the military when I was 17 years old. I got out when I was almost 22.
Okay.
wow.
I did 5 years.
Oh.
And, I was killed in a motorcycle accident. I was clinically dead for 2 minutes, and I came back. It's like there's this police officer standing over me, like, "Thank God you're alive." And I'm like, "Yeah,
Mm.
okay, whatever." It took a while to get used to, and the first removal I did was kind of forced upon me, shall we say. My brother and his wife were living in Salem, Oregon, and my sister-in-law called me and said, "There's something wrong with your brother." He's like, his eyes are turning black, and he's like, looks evil, and he's growling, and she says, "I'm afraid." She says, "Can you come down?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I came down, and Michael says, "Wait outside." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." So I waited in the car for a few minutes, and then he said, "Get out." I'm like, "All right." He says, "I want you to call the demon to you." And I'm thinking to myself, "Are you crazy?"
Bring it
you know.
to you.
And he said, "No, just do it." And I said, "Okay." So I said, "Demon, come forth." And here comes this thing through the wall. And in the next moment, my physical consciousness is like in the back, and Ariel comes forward. And she's like, "This thing is calling her everything but a white person, because they know her and they fear her." And she told him, "Stupid demon, you don't understand." And she grabbed a hold of it by the throat and took one of her white light swords and slit its throat. And I could see the particles just spread among the stars. It just like disintegrated, it came apart like molecules, like grains of sand, and it was gone. And then once it was gone, her consciousness went back inside. And I told Michael, I said, "You used me as bait." And he's like, "Well, you had to understand that you can do this. Never be afraid." He says, "Because she's always there to protect you." So from that moment on, I had no fear of the dark ones anymore.
Mm.
So I have
You
lots of
can't have any
questions.
fear. You can't have any doubt. Yeah. You can't have any of that stuff, because they'll know it. They're like, a dog sniffing out a bone. They'll find it. They'll find your weakness, and they'll use it against you. And you'll never be able to do the removal. You'll never be able to kill them.
Mm.
So
Okay. I have a few questions. Betsy has a few questions. I'll let Betsy go first for a second.
so following this, did you then seek out to apply this knowledge into your day-to-day life?
Yeah, well, once that happened and I got home, and God said, "This is what you're meant to do." I could hear him like I hear you. He says, "This is what you're meant to do." He says, "I will send people to you who need your expertise, who need your help." And that was a long time ago, and it's been going that way ever since. People
Mm.
come to me, people find me. Even, some of them, it takes them 20 years, but they find me. And since 2014, when I started to do podcasts, it's like more and more people are able to find me and get help.
Oh
Do
yeah.
people know when they
Oh, yeah.
have a demon?
Yeah. They're not subtle about, what they do and how they attach themselves to an individual. It's kind of like a demon can see someone and say they have a substance abuse issue, or they're having home life that's abusive or something like that, and they'll sit back. They'll target the person, but they'll sit back and they'll wait and they'll watch. They'll learn all they can about the individual, like what your weaknesses are, what you cherish above all else. Are you easily influenced? Do you have, abuse issues? Can we control you? Do you have fear? And what
Mm.
the fears are? They sometimes they can sit there for years and just watch you, and you'll never know that they're there until they decide to attach. And once they decide to attach, then, your life goes down the toilet. Your finances go in the toilet, your health starts suffering, your mental health starts suffering. Your relationships, their whole job is to isolate you from any kind of support system that you have, make people think you're crazy.
What are they trying to achieve by doing this?
They're trying to wear you down. They're trying to weaken you. They're trying to make you more easily influenced, more easily uh, used.
Uh, So when they use you, are they trying to get you to do nefarious things for them, or they trying to maybe get you to commit suicide? And is there an end game where they take possession of you if they get you to do bad things?
Yeah.
It depends upon the individual demon. Contrary to popular belief, they're not all the same. Each one has its own agenda. They have the big agenda, but each one has its own little variants of that. It may just want to simply torture you until you die. It may want you to hurt other people, hurt yourself. It's all about causing as much pain and suffering to the individual person as they can. But what people fail to realize is it's not just the individual person they attach to that suffers. Anyone within the close knit proximity of you, like your husband, your wife, your children, your animals, they're all targets as well.
Mm.
They're
So,
like the collateral damage.
so you talked about attachments. Is there a difference between like an infestation, a possession, attachment?
Hmm.
Are those
There's
just different levels?
different levels, yeah. The complete possessions are not all that common. You're more likely to find an infestation or a demon that's simply stalking you, watching you, poking at you, just, you know, making your life go to hell. And then there are the ones that don't care about any of that. They just cut to the chase, and they can scratch you, they can bite you, they can, push you down the stairs. They can, make they can make you wreck your car. They can make you attempt suicide, or you get so depressed and so, because they'll tell you, they'll whisper in your ear and in your head, no one can help you. You're never going to be free of me. No one can help you. The only way to be free of me is to die.
Mm.
You
What
know,
what do they get if they cause you to say commit suicide or die?
they can
Do
trap
they
your soul.
so they trap your soul? And what is soul like, a currency for them or a source of power?
It's like a feather in their cap. They can
Mm.
utilize you. What people don't realize is that if a demon cannot get into a location, like I make what is black salt. It's a very special black salt. God gave me the recipe for it. It's not like any other one you'll find. But that
Well,
in
okay.
40 years, it's never failed to protect, but it only protects against non-humans,
What is
inhuman, entities. But
what is
they'll
black salt?
just a second. They'll use the human soul to go through that line of black salt and get to the
Oh.
person inside.
Oh, oh, oh.
Because they can't, they'll use them as a puppet to go in there and do
Mm.
that. Black salt is, I had never heard of it until when I started removing demons. God said, I want you to create a black salt. And I'm like, what is it for? And he's like, it's used to lay down, to put down a line of protection around a location. You can carry it in your purse. You can carry it in a necklace, in your wallet, whatever. It's blessed. I make it by hand, and it's blessed at each step of the making of it. God blesses it and Ariel put some of her angelic energy in it. So, like I said, in 40 years, it's never failed.
So you could get one of those salt guns that you shoot flies with.
It's not rock. It's not rock salt.
Well, no, one of those. They've got these little guns. It looks like a squirt gun or something, but you put salt in it and you shoot salt at flies.
So if you already have an attachment, is it too late then for the protective black salt?
Oh yeah. You have to remove it first. It's like, okay, say you have a attachment and you seal your home. You're sealing it in the home with you.
Oh, crying out loud.
Yep.
So
exactly.
You're trapping it with you. So
So that's why you never want to lay down the black salt until it's gone.
That just sounds.
Have you ever been like just walking around doing your daily life and like seen people with attachments?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Do you like, like those psychic shows where they walk in, they're like, so I have a message from your. Do you go up and like tell them?
No, I don't have to.
If cold call.
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't do that. But the thing is, I do all my work telepathically, so they wouldn't even know it anyway.
So you can actually.
I would just remove it. I would just remove it, and they would never even know.
Oh, thank God! Okay. I was like, please, somebody tell me.
Now you said that demons look into your brain and figure out your worst fear. Right. So if I ever see like an ex-wife come up, I could. But anyways, so what do they look like before they bring out your worst fear?
Yeah, do they have an original form?
Yeah, is it common?
Yeah, a more common form that they use on man is the one where they're half ram, half human, and they have horns and stuff like that. That's their classic look. But
so whatever we think that they should look like maybe Hollywood has put it into our head that this is what it looks like. So that's how they appear.
So looking kind of like Pan from the Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a harpy from the Greek tragedy.
But that's not what they look like?
No, that's not what they look like. They look a lot like archangels because at one time they were angels. Mm-hmm. They're 7 feet tall, 12-foot wingspan, but instead of being white, they're solid like an ebony black. Mm-hmm. And they're beautiful until you see their face. Their face and their eyes, it's like every nightmare on steroids, every evil thing in the world is poured into that face, what there is of a face. So mostly it's black, and mostly it's eyes, and what passes for maybe, an outline of a nose or a mouth. And, for me, I'm used to seeing them that way, so it doesn't bother me. But nobody wants to see them that way. No people that don't. Zach Baggins didn't want to see it.
100%.
Sounds like I don't want to see him anyway. I mean, unless I'm afraid of like the what's that tanning lotion model group from Sweden, and I'm starting to train myself to fear that.
I don't like spiders, that's not.
Don't put that in my head. I'm busy.
That's one of my pet peeves is I don't like spiders. And every now and then I'll get one of those little creepy crawly dudes and he'll try to show himself as a spider. And I'm like, really?
You're ruining my training right now.
I'm like, get a life, people.
Models. I'm afraid of Swedish
Isn't it like
models.
Banana Boat Club?
There you go. Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm afraid of that.
Yeah.
So when you rid a person through telepathy of these demon attachments, where do they go? Can they come back?
No, they can't come back.
So is there an end to this? Like if we do it enough, there'll be no more.
No, there's millions of them, just like there are millions of angels. And it's, I kill the ones that I encounter. Because, they're not worth powder and lead to blow them up. So why should I even deal with them? And I know that if I don't, they'll be back again. It's not like they're going to go away.
So when you kill them, you said when you killed that first one, it just dispersed into the stars. So they just... And
the thing is, people have to understand that when I do it, it's Ariel doing it. I see what she sees, hear what she hears, and feel what she feels. And she creates a white light. She creates a pair of white light swords. And she usually ends up having to fight them. And then she slices through them and they die. They are no more.
Mm.
So when a demon attaches, can it unattach itself and then come back and then go away
Oh,
and
yeah.
then come back?
Yeah, they can do that. They can. I have some that will they'll hang out with the person for a while, and they'll find them boring, or there's nothing, or they're looking for fresh meat, so they'll disappear and they'll be away.
I want to
But
be boring. I
yeah,
need to be boring.
but
I am to be
what
boring.
happens is they have to make their decision to attach or not. If they find you boring, or if your faith is too strong, and you're not fearing them, then they'll walk away because it's like, not worth my time and energy.
So we do have power, like in
We do.
the boredom and
Mhm.
the faith areas.
Right. Yeah, you do. That's what gets me. It's people think, once I get it, that's it. I'm through. I'm done. But that's not true. It's all about, faith is a strong thing. Prayer, the power of prayer, and faith in God, and ask. You can call on Michael. You can call on Gabe. Any of them, and they will help you.
Now, is the faith in a particular religion important, or
No.
like you
Just
could
a higher power.
you could
Yeah. Some people call God the greater consciousness. Whatever I don't care if you call it Buddha, if you call it Shiva, I don't care what you call it, Jehovah. It's that faith in a greater power, a greater consciousness that actually helps.
So can demons kill people?
Yes.
Oy.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. What is the strongest demon you've ever encountered? Who
Derek
is?
changes the subject.
The strongest one I've ever encountered, but not had to battle because he fears Ariel.
Uh-huh.
And that's Lucifer.
Okay.
You encountered Lucifer?
Oh yeah. I was called in on a possession case, and I was on the show Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis, and I got a request for help from a woman who said she had possession issues. So I contacted a friend of mine who is a minister or ordained minister, and God told me, you've got to take him with you because he's fearing the dark ones. You can't fear the dark ones and serve me. So I took him and another friend of mine with me, and I knocked on the door, and the door was opened, and it was the woman's body, but the eyes were totally black, and it growled at me and said, "Get the, what, out of here, B," and slammed the door. And my friends are looking at each other like, "What was that?"
So you know her?
It's like, yeah. I said,
So you guys have met.
I knock on the door again. I'm like, okay. So, this time she was in control for the moment. So she answered. And so we went inside, and I told her to sit down because I know the minute I encounter a person, whether it be a picture or an email or whatever, what's there. And I'm thinking to myself, holy crap, there's 11 of them in here. It's like, God.
11 demons?
Yeah, she had been living with these for over 20 years.
I'm sure her life was just hell.
So she's in there 20 years chilling with these demons.
She's been trying to find someone to help her.
That means these demons have been a part of all of her life. Everything,
Well, yeah.
every
How
meal,
do you broach that conversation?
every
do you first
bathroom break.
contact your physician?
I know, it's like, right? That's the
Like,
thing,
who do you call?
I know, it's like she says, I've been trying to find help for years and years. She says, I've had priests come, after we were all through. She says, I've had priests come, they run the other way. She's like, I've tried everything. And once she started talking, then the demons took over. And so Ariel came forward, and she was out for about 3 hours. It never takes her that long to remove a single demon, but this was a possession. And so she'd gotten down to the last demon, and she can look inside their heads and see why they're there, uh, how they attached, the reason for what their plans are. And so when she looks inside, I see everything. And this demon evidently was given a job to do by Lucifer. And he just didn't bother to do it, just split and decided he was going to just do other things.
Mm.
And he hid out inside of her to, not be found by Lucifer. So I knew it had done that. So I said, listen, if you want to go home, I said, I'll ask Jesus to come for you if you really want to go home to the light.
Mhm.
And he says, you can do that? And I said, yeah. And so I said, Jesus, come forth. And my friends are standing in front of me and they part to each side as this huge white arm comes out and it stretches out towards the demon. And the demon's like,
Grabbed it by the neck and choked it to death.
no, wishful thinking.
Ah.
And then the demon says, no, you're lying to me. No, I can't. And so it sunk down even deeper inside of her. And so Jesus withdrew. And I said, okay. I said, if that's what you want. And I said, and Ariel said, Lucifer, come forth. And he appears down at the end of the hallway and he walks towards where we are. And my friends are like freaking out. They're like, oh my God. What they see is a male figure in like a fedora, double-breasted suit, spats, that type of thing. This is the appearance he gave to them. And of course,
new friend.
yeah, it's like I just see them as they are. So it's like he told the demon, "You come out now," and it refused. And he looked at me and said, "I know that you don't want me to hurt the human, so I will be back for it." And he turned around and walked down the hall and disappeared. Well, we all went home to our respective beds, and we all woke up at 3 a.m. and I heard Lucifer say, "It's done."
And Lucifer didn't hurt the lady?
No.
So, can people get rid of their own demons?
No. I wish that was, unless they're two-legged ones. That's a whole nother situation. But
Unless they're two whatty-whats?
two-legged ones.
Two-legged.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's clarify that.
No. Okay. So.
Great.
All right. So we cover what I've got to have myself trained for.
There you go. Yeah.
And okay. Now, the story of Lucifer, Old Testament, he was the adversary. I've heard it said that he was kind of like a part of the judgment at the end or something before. And I've also heard that he was the most beautiful. Was he a cherub or something that God ever created?
He was a warrior angel, and his name means the shining one. And long story short, we had physical lives on another planet, like in a galaxy far, far away. And God found us, and he helped us to evolve in the way that we got rid of war, we got rid of disease, we got rid of famine. And we just kept evolving until we evolved into pure energy. And once everyone had evolved into pure energy, we traveled all over the galaxies and stuff. Our whole goal was to learn, was to observe. So we had been doing this for like hundreds of thousands of years. And then one day, about 3/4 of the souls said, listen, we'd like to have physical bodies again. We'd like to have children. We'd like to, physical love. We want that. And Lucifer and his followers said, no. We don't want it to have anything to do with that. We don't want to be subject to disease, to pain, to growing old. No, we're not up with that. That's what caused the war between quote unquote heaven and hell. But at that time, we were all one. Once it was over, Lucifer was disarmed by Michael, and his son was disarmed by Ariel. And God said, I'm going to give you exactly what you want. You're never going to be able to take physical form again, but you can't live among us. So he opened a rift into a dark realm, a dark dimension. He says, this is where you will exist from now on. You can't live among us. And so that's, and over the centuries, they've grown angry and vindictive and vengeful, for being stuck in the dark. And they found ways to enter our world because every living person has a white light soul in it. So they found ways to influence us. They found ways to get us to create portals, which is like anytime you're doing a fortune, doing tarots, doing a paranormal investigation, EVP sessions, all of those things open a portal. People don't understand. You open the
Really?
portal, you got to shut the door, but they don't do it. And you have
How-
all of these portals that are open.
Okay, I'm listening.
How do you
closely.
shut the door? We're fitting to host a ghost hunt soon. So
before you even start it, you ask, in the name of God, I ask for your blessing upon this investigation. And I ask that no harm be allowed to come to me or mine. Okay. And then when it's over, you thank God. You say, thank you for your blessings. Thank you for keeping us safe. And please close the door. And the door will be closed.
okay.
So, how do we protect ourselves from demons? Just the attachment, the
Faith is really strong. That's the number one card there. Faith in God or whichever, deity you believe in. And don't doubt it. I mean, people with doubts are the demons like to attack people who say that they have absolute faith because they find ways, they find doubts in the person's mind. They it's like a priest. If he has any doubt in himself, in what he's doing, in God, then he's screwed. He'll never be able to remove that demon. Because I asked Michael one time, I said, why does it take them so long, even years, to do a removal? And it takes me minutes. And he's like, A, they don't have what you have inside of you. And B, they have doubts. They have doubts either if they're, if they can do it, if they're, have enough faith to do it. In the ceremony itself, you can't have any doubts. If you do, they'll find it and you'll never get rid of them.
How did you, okay, back to the beginning, how did you end up being born with an archangel inside of you?
What happened was in 1198 AD, Ariel, a woman cried out and said, help me, I have rid me of this demon and, take it away from me. And so God sent Ariel down. And the minute Ariel appeared, the demon came forward and she ripped the demon out of the person and the woman's body died. And God was upset because he said, this isn't the first time this has happened. You have no compassion, no caring for humans. He says, I sentence you to reliving human lives until you learn to have compassion for mankind.
Has she learned it yet?
This is her 131st lifetime. And I think she's learned more in this lifetime
a bit
than
of a
any
slow
of her.
learner.
She hasn't got the patience for them. She doesn't.
She's in that special class I went to where I
Yeah. She has.
I think I'm a slow learner too.
I'm in 8th grade and they're handing me the papers and the pencil that's about yonder big around and I'm
and she tells God, what the heck, they have no compassion for their own selves. They'll prey on each other. How can you ask me to have compassion for them, especially when they're the ones who are summoning the demons? There's something wrong with that, And he said, it doesn't matter. You need to learn. And
so the demons can't just come here. They have to be invited or a portal opened or summoned in some way.
There's different ways for them to do it. They can create what they call a dark portal. And they can use it like a swinging door, they come in, they come out, or like we may leave a portal open by doing a reading or investigation or something like that, and it leaves the door open and they find it. It's kind of like a candle in the dark. They find the portals and they'll come in, and then they'll create more portals. And it's just, because we're stupid, because we're human, and we do things like that, and we don't think about the consequences. And so then of course they come in human use. The people that summon demons. I had a woman that I removed a demon from, and the minute I connect with them, I know that she summoned the demon.
Why
Eh,
did she summon a demon? What was her goal?
to see if she could.
Just to try,
Yeah, just to see if she
Lots of
could.
people do.
But
And
they
it was
do it
quite by accident. This
for
one was
love and
quite by
money.
accident. It was intentional, but by accident. And she sends me a text and says, "Can you help me to learn how to summon demons? Summon more demons?" I'm
Do
like,
you?
"Are you out of your mind? I take them out. I don't bring them in." Gosh,
Oh,
I'm not even going
genius,
there.
genius.
Yeah,
So, all right. So if people are looking for your help, should they go to your website?
yeah. They can go to my website, mysticconnections.org, or demonshere.com. Either one, they like are blended together, and they can just send me a message, or they
Okay.
can message me on Facebook. A lot of people just send me emails.
Well,
So outside of demon seeing, what else do you do?
I'm a psychic medium, so I can talk to the dead. Yay! Oh, and I can see the future, and I have the gift of the gift of laying on of hands.
For like healing and things?
Yeah, for healing.
I have the gift of bad jokes at inappropriate times.
No, that's my husband. It's like, I have a husband that if you can't touch it, feel it, or see it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And so that was fun. A couple of years after
How do you
we got
broach
married.
that?
Well, a couple of years after we got married, it's like it's about 8 months pregnant, and I'm like, this is what I can do, and this is, this thing inside me. It's probably going to be able to do that too. So just FYI. And he's like, okay, whatever. And then the first time he saw a demon, he's like, "What is that?" And I said, "Oh, dear, don't worry about it. It's a shadow person. No problem." He's
That's
like,
something
he's
you
like,
need
"I
to
never
lay out.
want to see that again."
You need to lay out that ahead of time. Matter of fact,
Nah, just
prenuptial
bring it right
agreement
on him.
will say,
You did that just right. Like, what
Yep.
is he going to say at this point?
you
Yeah,
trapped
exactly,
him.
right?
Yes.
You trapped him.
No, actually, it was the other way around because I didn't want to get married, but he's like,
Oh, yeah.
So you can see the future. How do you feel about it? It's really kind of crazy right now.
Right now, it is, but before the end of the year, things will get better. Things will go back to normal and not this kind of normal that we're experiencing right now. The thing is, people are kind of like sheep. They deal with this. I've been in medicine a long time, 46 years, and I've been through all kinds of basically pandemics, so to speak.
Yeah.
I've been through SARS. I've been through H1N1. Never wore a mask, never got sick. And it's like, and I never take shots. So there you go. It's like, this is a man-made bug.
Yeah, there's a story just came out. Nicholas, there's a scientific journalist, Nicholas.
It's Occam's razor. I mean,
Yeah.
you can spin it any way you want, but
It's still the same. It's man-made bug.
it's yeah.
There's a.
So you see the future getting better, like the near future.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, before this year is out, things will be a lot better. But the problem is, people are the way they are,
Yeah.
and
I
they're
hope
gonna
so.
they're going to create more chaos. And what doesn't help is the news goes on about it and makes hypes it and makes it terrible. People get fearful. There's and this is a perfect breeding ground for demons, because there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of depression. All these are all things that feed demons, and they wonder why there's more.
Do you watch the news and see the CNN anchor with an attachment?
Oh, there you go. That's the question. When
I try not to watch the news.
when Biden comes out, or Trump, or whoever, or let's go to Xi Jinping. When they come out, do you see the
I see what's attached. I see what's attached.
So is there stuff attached to it?
Just like I see what's attached to, you stop and think about it. What a perfect thing. Religious leaders.
If there was something attached to me.
Yeah, would you tell us?
Yeah, would you tell us?
No, I wouldn't tell him. I just
you wouldn't tell me.
We'll just spend a little longer.
They wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare. You're too funny. They couldn't take it.
Yeah, I would. He'd
true.
be like,
and my boredom is.
He'd be like rubbing the bridge of his nose. He'd be like, damn, that joke.
The demons would go, "What the heck? No way! This is just too boring. He's too funny. No, I can't deal with it."
Well, he thinks he's too funny. Oh,
so you have a child?
I do. Well, he's 31, so I guess he's not a child.
Does he have the power too, or does it go through the?
He has abilities. It's just he's at a point in his life where it's more important to deal with friends than it is to let people know what you can do.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird subject.
I know.
How do you?
I know his girlfriends. He doesn't even want. Don't tell him anything about your mom. I don't mention that. I'm like, okay.
I'll refrain the shock and awe of him keeping that hidden.
Yeah. And it's like it doesn't bother. But if he needs to know something, Mom, is this going to happen? Then he can pick my brain. But until then, it's like, don't mention it, Mom. Don't even say anything.
So a niece of ours sees shadow people all the time. Is seeing the shadow people an indication of an attachment, or is that just kind of like
not necessarily?
Some people can't see them,
and they're not necessarily shadow people. See, that's the thing.
It could be a demon.
True shadow.
What you're scared of.
Well, true shadow people are loners. They don't like any other shadow person or any other demons in their territory. They just won't have it.
Are they tougher than demons?
Yeah, are they strong?
No, they're minions, but they just don't like it. They would rather leave than have to deal with another demon. So, but you'll get people that are earthbound that were nasty in life, and they're going to be nasty in death because they haven't ascended fully to the other side.
So these are the spirits that are kind of stuck here.
Yeah, they can show themselves as anything they want. They can make you see them as a 10-foot tall shadow person. I had a children's theater that called me in because there was a shadow person, but it ended up being just a short, fat, bald guy who never got any respect in life, and he was darn well going to get some respect in death. So he showed himself as this shadow person when he really wasn't.
Can you help those people move on?
Yeah.
As well?
Oh yeah. I told him, knock it off, go home. And so I had Michael take him home. He's like, yeah, you're in trouble enough. Yeah, let's go home.
So it's not necessarily a demon. A shadow person is not necessarily a demon. Maybe it's just a grumpy old guy that is grumpy still.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's not. It's just. It's a butthead. It's a butthead.
I'm gonna follow you around telling you bad jokes all night.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. That's why I get called in and people think well, it's the first thing they think of is it's something negative. When maybe it's only grandma or grandpa or Aunt Lucy.
If we're scared at all, we associate it with negativity.
Yeah. And really, it's your mom. You really think she's going to hurt you? No. People, that's why it's nice to go on an investigation where I don't have a negative entity and I can just say, no, it's your Aunt Franny and this is what she wants to tell you. And and she's ready to go home. So there you go.
If I have an ancestor, I hope they say I hid the $1 billion under the floorboard.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I know, right?
I can get down with that. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, every day that'd be fine. They can show up as the Swedish tanning.
There you go.
Banana boat girls.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm
Banana
okay
boat
with
girls.
that. You know, not a spider. Let's not put that back in my mind.
I mean, you know, you got to have a sense of humor about it. I mean, you know, it's what I do is dark, only because I'm dealing with the dark. But you know, I like to retain my sense of humor because, you know, because it is such a dark subject.
Yeah.
You have to be fun. You have to make fun of it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because life is too short. You know.
So, guardian angels. Does everyone have guardian angels?
Oh yeah, everybody. Everybody has. Depends. You know, some people call them spirit guides. Some people call them guardian angels. One and the same.
So why are mine
Working overtime.
slow? My guardian angels,
Why are yours taking a vacation? Huh?
they're slow. I got the I don't know, the D team guardian angels, like they called them up from the farm league, and
They're like the Dumb and Dumber. Is that what you're trying to say?
he's over in the corner right now drooling and trying to put the square peg in the round hole.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Sometimes you do get ones that are not worth powder and lead to blow them up, but you know. It is what it is. You can always ask for somebody different. Yeah, you can always ask for somebody different. It's a lot of people think that it's always family, but it's not. It may not be a person that was family in this lifetime, but maybe family in a past lifetime.
So, do you think that there are soul contracts? We hear of that a lot. Like there
yeah.
are groups of souls that kind of travel together.
Yeah, they're like family circles. Yeah, but they don't always. They travel in like a circle, but in groups. But they can come and go as they please. It just depends upon what they want to do and what they want to experience. But there are certain things that are set in stone. The time you come in, the time you leave, and the method in which you leave. These things are all set in stone.
So again, we're back to the professional fisherman / race car driver.
There you go. You know, Joe Blows decides, oh, you know, really, I've never died getting hit by a train. I'd really like to do that in this lifetime. You know, and so that's what they contract for, and that's what happens.
See, I want the soul contract to be like the Sunday morning TV fisherman, not a professional fisherman on a boat where they're making shows on Discovery Channel. I want to be on like, you know, the outdoor channel fisherman
or OPB, you know,
race car
public
driver.
broadcasting. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's what I want. It's my next life. I've said it over and over. It should be sunk in by now, and I hope I remember that when it comes time to re-up.
I get so many people that say, you know, I'm so sick and tired of this lifetime. I'm not coming back again. And I just look at them and smile. I'm like, well, maybe you won't come back again, but your soul will.
Well, I plan on coming back again if all that applies. But if I don't pick properly next time, I'm going to be
there you go. Yeah, that's all your own fault for that one.
I mean, this time I picked, you know, he tries to be funny. Goofy looking, and you know, really has zero talent.
Well, you know, at least you guys get to pick. Ariel, when she comes back, she never gets to pick. She was hung as a witch. She was burned as a witch. I mean, she was strangled to death. I mean, take your pick.
Is it all just by time? Like when her current carrier dies, then you just throw them into who's ever on next? Because the Tibetan, I like the Tibetan model where you die and you go to like a screening room, and then you're at Pornhub and it's just flashing through different scenes, and you're like, ooh, I like the look of that. You know, let's pause there, and then zoop, you go in. That's mom and dad.
There you go.
Saw your mom and dad doing that, and you're okay.
Yeah, I guess.
How are you okay?
I have no idea.
Yeah, if I saw that, I would not be okay. Ever. I would not be okay. Charles,
you'd be going, my eyes.
Yeah, Charles Bukowski saw that. I promise you, and that's where all that
that's what
crazy
happened.
Poetry came from.
That's what happened. Okay.
So, do you ever ask yourself, am I doing Ariel justice in helping teach her compassion.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't ask
That's a
myself.
heavy responsibility.
I know she's learned a lot more in this lifetime than in any of the other ones, and I don't know whether it's because, you know, the the time in which we live.
Hmm.
Because if you stop and think about it, back in the witch trials and things like that, you were like
You couldn't even
hung
talk about it.
first and ask questions later.
It was a harder time, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas this is, you figure she's been coming back since 1198 AD.
And it also
That's a
depends
long
on your
time.
location, probably as well.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean,
And whether you come back as a male, whether you come back as a female, it's
Okay,
all
now
about that.
where's your soul if you're Ariel?
She
Or
is my.
are you Ariel?
I
She
am
has a soul.
Ariel. Yeah,
Oh.
I am
so
Ariel.
that
That's
is
my
your
soul.
soul.
Yeah, Ariel. Yep.
Mm.
Now, can my guardian angels protect me from demons?
No.
Ah, damn it.
They can and do work to get you help. They'll, because the demons, they're not as strong as the demons are, but they do work in the background, so to speak, to get you where you need to go to get help.
Yeah. Good job, Gomer.
They do. Yeah.
Throwing me right in there.
It's like people say, well, it's I've been looking for somebody for years, and then suddenly your
Yeah.
website just pops up, or a podcast just pops up with you on it. It's
No
like, this is not
coincidence.
something I normally do, and I'm like,
My guardian angel trips over area rugs all the time. It's clumsy.
Okay,
don't
Jared, you're so mean to your guardian angel.
Well,
be careful. They might give you a swift kick.
I'd like to see him show up to the party. At least he'd be doing something then.
So,
Ah.
tell me about the hierarchy in the dark realm or the dark area.
In the demon area?
Yeah, like who's the boss?
There-
Lucifer?
There is a hierarchy. There's Lucifer. He's top dog. And then he has 3 that are below him in control. He has his first in line, and then the second, and then the third. And their responsibilities is to try to maintain order of like the old demons and the younger demons. Old demons, it's not so hard because they don't want to have anything to do with us most of the time anyway. We're not worth their time and energy. But the lesser demons, or the young ones, they're kind of like hormonal teenagers running rampant. They want to cause as much chaos and problems as they can. So they're trying to keep them under control. And then you have the rogue demons that don't want to listen to anybody, and they're out there on their own causing problems. And Ariel and the Legion do help with the rogue demons. They kill them whenever possible.
So
Because even if they didn't, Lucifer would.
So are the rogue demons the ones that are commonly out, acting a fool and possessing people? And
Yeah. The lesser demons will do that to some extent, but the rogue demons don't care. They don't use, there are certain set standards for demons, believe it or not. The way you act, the way you do things, the way you operate. And the rogue demons, no way. We're not going to do that. We're going to do whatever we want, however we want, whenever we want. Those are the ones that really end up causing a lot of problems, because they just don't do it to one person. They do it to like a lot of people all at the same time.
Going crazy.
do demons have names?
Oh,
You
yeah.
see these shows where they say, "Tell me your name," and they're doing an exorcism.
Oh yeah.
Like
People think that if you know their name, it gives you power over them.
Yeah.
Good luck on that one. No. I get the name of every demon that I ever come in contact. But that's not what gives you power.
That's not important.
No,
if
it's
they
not
just have
important.
names.
Yeah, it doesn't make no
What
difference.
are their names?
Because every demon has a light name and a dark name. Like Lucifer's is the light name and then Satan is the dark name.
Oh,
okay.
That makes sense.
Each one has it. This was my old name when I was in the light. Now I'm not in the light. This is my name now.
Can demons switch sides?
Yeah, can they find redemption?
Yes.
Is it common?
No, it's very uncommon. When God sealed the rift, Azrael and 9 other archangels wanted to go in and wait because Azrael said to God, what if some of them want to come home? How are we going to know? If they're sealed in here, how are we going to know if they truly want to come home? So he stays there along with the other 9. And every now and then they'll find one that wants to come home. And they have to be sincere, and they know if they're sincere or not. But there's also, people believe that demons are all bad. But there's this little spark of light still left in each demon. And most of the time, if something sets it off, they'll squish it down and be on their way. But a couple years ago, I had removed this old demon from a location and sent him back home because I felt that he really wasn't causing that much of a problem. He was just annoying as hell. So I sent him back home. And then a couple years ago, he came to me and said, listen, he says, I want your help. And I'm like, oh, you're looking different. Instead of being black, he was kind of a charcoal gray. And I said, you let the light grow, didn't you? And he says, yes, but I don't want to go home. He says, I want to help humans. I want to help facilitate things between the living and the dark ones. He says, that's what I really want to do with this.
Things facilitate
go to bat.
them
Go to bat for
infestation.
the living. Go to bat for the living. Stand up for the living.
Okay.
And I said, says, will you do me a favor? He's talking to Ariel. Will you go ask Lucifer, talk to Lucifer and ask him if he would allow that? And Ariel's like, okay. So she went and talked to Lucifer, and he said,
So did she leave you and go talk to Lucifer, or
oh yeah.
did she take you with her? And that's a journey all in itself.
She leaves me, but I could still see and hear everything that she does. So she said, well, he's really sincere. This is what he wants to do. And he says, I'll talk among the old demons and find out if they're willing to let him do that. And I said, okay, that's all I can ask. A few days later, he contacted me and said, Herb, I call the demon that's charcoal gray, I call him Herb. I don't give his. He contacted me and said, I've been allowed to do this.
You went and punked him with a nickname.
Yeah, I call him Herb. He doesn't mind. It's better than the old demons I removed in Vegas. Oh, God.
In Vegas.
I called him George and Gracie just to make him mad.
Herb sounds worse. I mean, better than Richard Noggin or something, but
I like Herb. It's okay.
So do humans ever become demons?
No.
No, so a human soul can't become a demon.
No.
All right.
So if they take your soul, how does that work?
If they take your soul, they use it, and sometimes they even feed off it for energy and stuff.
But you can never come back again if.
No, it's not. There's a special group of angels that's what they do. They go looking for souls that have been captured by demons, and they return them to the light.
Oh, that's good.
So the souls are in the void with the demons, or maybe wherever the demons are cruising.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, well, we're coming close to an hour and a half. You mind if we go through some comments?
Sure.
Went by fast.
See what we got rolling in on here. I gotta roll up to the top of the comments. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Where are we at?
I think Laura's was the first one.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Before you came on, we were talking about beer made with whale testicles.
People are doing this.
Just so you know,
that's a portal to hell. If I
it sounds like it to me.
That's got to be a chewy beer. Okay, so Brian says about what the demon would come in and you would picture them as. He says a Whitley Strieber Gray. That would be his demon. And I
To
say
each their own.
he chose poorly.
Yeah. Poor
Uh,
guy.
Now, Laura said, I would like all of my demons removed.
yes, yes.
I'm sorry,
Laura,
I don't do two-legged ones.
you
Yes.
don't.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. Well, she'll have to jump on it and reach out to you.
Yeah.
James says, "Are demons the same as jinn and aliens?"
Yeah, I've heard of the jinn a lot.
Oh, Jin's just another name for a demon. That's all.
Do
It
they
just
all
Okay.
speak the
depends.
same language?
Yeah, they all speak Aramaic. Yeah, that's just
Did
it's
you
the
have
old
to learn it,
language.
or did Ariel know
No, no, Ariel knows it. My brain
it?
is like hardwired to interpret it, so I know
Okay.
exactly
So
what
so
it's
you
saying.
got a filter in there that
Yeah,
that breaks it into understandable.
yeah. Aliens are totally different as well. They are.
They are
They
not.
are.
Aliens are different.
Aliens are different. They are not
Do you
demons.
hear that, James? Aliens are different.
See, that's postulated a lot. We hear that on all the shows
Mhm.
that maybe
That's
aliens are just interdimensional demons.
what's that French researcher's name? He thinks that aliens and demons are the same. What's his name? James will pop on and tell us. Sammy says, "Can they come and go, or are they around all the time?"
Yeah, once they come in the portal, do they stay or can they go?
No, they go back and forth. Yeah.
Like a day job, they clock
Yeah,
in, they
yeah.
come
If they
through,
feel like if it's getting too boring, they'll leave and go back.
packing their lunch.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the key takeaway is be super boring.
Yes, be super boring. Yes, and be super full of faith.
Yes. And if you're faithful and boring,
Then
double win.
then they'll walk the other way. The main thing is if you encounter a demon is not to acknowledge it. To acknowledge it is to make it see you.
How
And you
would
ne-
how
and
would
you-
the layman person know when they've encountered a demon?
If you see a shadow person and you're on an investigation, you go, "Hey Joe, look at the shadow person," and it's like, "Hello, you just made it see you."
Well, the good news
Oh.
is I have no perception. Don't have to worry about it. Kimberly says the energy will thrive on your weakest areas. Yes, like she said, family, your health.
Yep.
And it,
So if you're already sick, like they can see that you're vulnerable.
Yes.
And if you have an attachment, do you start getting like physical
Yes, you
manifestations?
can start getting sick. Yeah.
so
Like mental manifestations too?
Yeah. it
Like
can
are
be-
some psychosis just demon attachment?
Some are like the multiple personality. Some of them are past life issues. Some of them are demons, trying to make you crazy. It's a short trip for some of us.
That's true. That's true.
I'd get possessed and it'd make me sane.
There you
All
go.
of a sudden, people can recognize this guy.
You'd be normal again.
James says it sounds like alien grays. There's lots of different theories about alien grays, and we got a couple shows coming up talking about that.
Yeah. Do they just show themselves? Sometimes demons show themselves as gray aliens because that's what.
If
They
you're
could.
afraid of
They
it.
could if that's your fear.
Yes.
If that's your fear, they can. That's what they look for. They look into the deepest recesses of your mind to find what your true fear is.
I got to really practice it. I'm going to have to do mantras every night in front of the mirror.
We'll do some flashcards.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Kimberly says there are too many that are opening portals and gateways and playing with tools of the trade, that such as Ouija boards. And I believe she's talking about too many people that are just playing with the tools and don't know what they're doing.
So
yeah, that's a lot.
Are all the tools the same in their abilities, like Ouija board versus whatever? Because it's all intention, correct?
Right. It's all about the intention. Yeah. One of the things I learned when I died, went to the other side, was in the dark world as well as the light world, thought becomes reality. And it's the intention behind the thought that gives it power. So if your intention is to open a dark portal, you're going to open a dark portal. If your intention is to close one, then you're going to close one.
Okay, so if we play with stuff, we've got to have the intention. I don't want to open any portal. I kind of would rather someone else be the doorman. I just kind of want to. I'm here.
But that's the problem, though. It's not just the doorman that gets the problem.
They spread
the wealth.
Oh, Troy says build a bigger room, and I think he has a follow-up here in a second. Josette says you should read us. You should do a reading on us. And I'm not sure what kind of reading. I asked her, is there a demon behind me? And she did not directly answer, so I'm kind of questioning now. So do you get any read off of either of us? Any, like we should worry about anything?
I don't see anything coming up. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So
excellent.
nothing coming up. I like
nothing negative. So
okay. So maybe good things. Okay. Now here's Troy's follow-up. Build a bigger room for your existential life. The bigger, the better. Call for their moms. Call for the demons' moms.
Do demons have moms?
Okay, he may have a follow up a little later on. So Lilith isn't the mother of all demons.
No. It's too bad, right?
Yeah.
You get rid of her, then no problem.
So Sarah says, so then would you say that there are so many exit opportunities and that the exit soul contract changes?
No.
Yeah, I've heard this as well.
I always heard you
the contract never changes.
Okay.
So I've also heard this, that you have 3 or so exit opportunities.
How about we take a second and tell Jared what's an exit opportunity?
Like your death. Like you
when I died and went to the other side, it was meant to happen as to give me an awakening, like to say, hey, you know the reason why you can see demons and talk to them and everything? It's because this is what you are. So, it's not really an exit point to be leaving. It's just a refresher.
It was a planned point of reflection.
So your deaths are all planned?
And only one exit point? Like this is
just one.
I'm gonna have to update my my when I come back next time plan.
So do you see people's exit points sometimes?
Yes.
Oh, that's a terrible gift.
Okay, I don't want to know. We're moving on.
I don't ever want to know.
Yeah.
I know. I just like, okay, fine, whatever. It's like I've seen my death. I know how
you have.
Yeah, I asked God one time. I said, "I like to see my death," and He's like, "Okay." So I saw a vision of myself at 93 years old, going to sleep and not waking up. I'm like, okay,
so that's not too bad.
Oh, nice.
Year 92 is going to be very eventful.
Yeah.
You better be eating your Wheaties right now.
That happy birthday to you. You're like, man, they better brought the cake this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been doing that this last year. I've lost 106 pounds.
Oh, what? Outstanding. Congratulations.
Yeah. How?
It's called gastric sleeve surgery.
Okay.
Our mom had that.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Well, congratulations.
She had it done.
I'm telling you, that is not an easy way out.
Yeah.
We watched her go through it. That is rough work.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with it. It's like it's more refined these days.
Yeah, Mom had it done in.
It was pretty new.
It was in the 80s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, now everything is done arthroscopically. You have tiny little holes, and that's it.
Yeah, we don't need to go into the sad story of how that panned out for Mom on everything, but I think it was because of how old it was.
Yeah. So now Troy mentioned all naming is trickster.
Yeah. Is that when you name a demon, it's trickster, or is all the demons trickster names?
All the demons will never tell you the truth. It's like a used car salesman.
So the people that are saying, "Tell me your name," that's just
Homer's name might be Goober, and he's just
yeah, exactly. And instead he says, "Oh, my name's Homer." So
his name's Homer.
See, because they never tell you the truth. If their lips are moving, so to speak, they're lying.
Okay. Now, Sarah asked if we're still sharing to her group. We're on a new device, but what I will do, Sarah, is once this is up and posted, I'll pull and share it onto your group. Side note, I've got to get with you guys soon. Anyways, that's on to Sarah also says, I told someone the other day, no amount of psychiatrists can rid demons, and no amount of priests can rid serious mental illness.
True.
Ooh, that's a
That
a
is
deep
true.
thought.
And if they don't believe in demons, then they're
Right.
just going to keep beating away at the next diagnosis,
Right.
just throwing things at the wall till they stick.
That's a
Right.
super deep thought, that no amount of head shrinkers can get rid of the demon, and
That's
no
true.
amount of demon killers can shrink your head.
That's true.
Oh,
I don't like that thought.
So you almost want to team up, like you want.
I want a demon killer psychiatrist
team. You want them in a team.
Yeah, you want them
want
in a team.
You want a Mulder and Scully.
There you go.
Mulder and Scully team to come in, and they both work at you. One has you say, "Tell me about your mother." And
Yeah.
the
There
other
you
one
go.
starts
There you go.
Flashing water on you at the same time.
Okay, tell exorcisms. We see them. Are they effective, or like the work you do? You said is by telepathy.
Yeah, it's all done because Ariel comes forward. It's people. When Ariel comes forward, there are physical manifestations. There are wings that come out of my shoulders. My eyes turn white.
What?
My voice changes and my face changes.
Has your husband seen this?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, how's your husband faring lately?
I haven't had to use it at
Is he
home.
in the corner, like got a shiver and going?
But
when I first the garbage out, and he's coward.
When I first started removing demons, people would look at me strange, after the removal.
Yeah,
after it was true, and I never figured it out, and then people are like, yeah, and then a friend of mine says, "You do realize this is what happens when you do that." My friend Wendy, that's one of my Ghosts and Girls partner there.
So even when you're doing it by telepathy, when Ariel steps forward, there's physical manifestations.
There's physical manifestations. Yeah.
Oh, girl, you'd be a hard person to be a friend with.
I know, it's like, people don't, if people are afraid of dark stuff, it's like, it doesn't make any difference to me. If you're a true friend, and I have a handful of those, then it doesn't matter. It's like you smoking cigarettes, or
you're walking down the sidewalk, get smacked in the face by a wing, like, again, son of a
some people
bitch. I'll wait over there.
But I can control her. That's the thing. I can control when she comes out. When I was a kid, I couldn't control it because I didn't know what it was. But my grandmother knew what it was. But you're a kid, you don't pay attention.
That's so cool.
Now, Sarah also says, ooh, I do that with the wings when I cleanse houses. Now, Sarah does house cleansings and helps people out as well. So Sarah, she thought it was just her. So you have wings that pop out? I may have to rethink this going on hunts with Sarah idea.
It's because she has a warrior angel inside of her.
Okay, I have to rethink.
That's the difference.
I don't know how I would fare if all of a sudden, sweet Sarah, I know, wings popped out. And
Sarah, I would scream. You've been warned. It would be loud, high pitched. Jared, you would see tracks and probably
a white
smoke.
Van. There would be a white van involved, the FBI van. Well, first of all, I wouldn't see it because I would be in the white van during the whole time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She said she did it while I was like when you were around. When I went to a hunt with her at this pawn shop, not a pawn shop. It's a. Is it a consignment? Whatever. It's a cool little like interesting stuff store, and she said while I was there, she did it. Were you around me when you did it? That her wings come out and then
is he that non-perceptive?
Probably.
I was gonna say it could be.
Wing comes out, it knocks Jared down. Jared's like, "Oh, I tripped on something.
I tripped on an area rug, and my guardian
or why did you push me?
My guardian angel slip went. Me too. And then when we pushed, then thermal energy gun. Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to get with Sarah off of this. This is inside baseball. Oh, I was using the thermal gun. the thermal. Okay, yeah, we're gonna chat some more in a bit. But anyways, so to round it out, if someone's looking for your assistance, can you offer assistance like to someone who's out of state via
Oh yeah,
internet? So you
I
can
I can do removals
You
from
can-
distance. I've removed them from Norway and the
Okay.
UK and Australia. Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
don't
if
have
any
to
of
be
the
there.
listeners is looking for help, they can have an exorcism via Skype.
So tell me
A
some.
Skypercism.
Skypersism. I like that. It's catchy.
You better add it to your page there. So
There
first
you go.
Skypercisms call.
Tell me some, I guess you would say, symptoms that you may need to reach out to somebody like you. How would I know?
Suddenly,
yeah.
Suddenly their health is failing. Their relationships are going in the toilet. Everything hits at the same time. You start hearing things. You start hearing growlings, seeing, being attacked physically. The smell of rotting flesh or sofa.
So if it's not my ex-wife, is there
If
any
it's
other
not-
symptoms?
And unlike when you encounter a ghost, and when you encounter a ghost, there's physical cold spots. And when you encounter a demon, it's not physical. It's like you feel cold to your very core of your body. It's like it can be 100 degrees outside, but inside you're like frozen.
So it doesn't have to be all of these manifesting. But
Right.
if you have like a cluster of them, you may want to reach out.
So the cold spot feels internal.
Yeah,
whereas
it's
the
internal.
ghost cold spot is an effect of
Yeah, like
external.
the ghost cold spot, you can kind of move through.
Yeah, you can move through, or you can smell lilacs or whatever. But these you can't because they're not physical. They're not in their way physical manifestations. And it's like I told Zach Baggins when I was on the show. I said, listen, SLS camera is not going to help you. Demons will not appear on an SLS camera, so you might as well hang that one up.
Which
He
one's
was
the
saying,
SLS?
he was saying, go get the SLS camera. I'm like,
The
it's not going
SLS
to help
camera.
you.
That's the Xbox One, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
because they don't have a physical form.
yeah.
Right.
Now, on a serious note, I know I've been making an awful lot of jokes about ex-wives tonight. I mean, every goddamn word.
I was going to say you probably meant everything.
Seriously, all those things, demon.
Satan's bride. Is that what you're trying to say?
He's scared of her too.
So did you learn this as you went along, or was this innately a part of you because you're Ariel? Was this just like...
Yeah, was there a learning curve to it, or did it come rather...
Not really with the demon thing. It was a learning curve when it came to dealing with her.
Yeah.
Because she has this issue. She has, like, I tell people, I used to tell people, she's hardcore. I said, if she has attitude, she has attitude with a capital A. I said, just understand, it's not me, it's her. And she does what she has to do and moves on.
So her husband's in the corner right now nodding.
Yeah, not my husband. He's still oblivious.
Yeah, attitude.
That may be safest.
He's an auditor, he's a very left brain. He's seen my grandmother, unfortunately for him, and he's seen my sister. So it's like, he's like, make him stop. I never want to see him again. Thank you.
Ghosts of them?
The spirits, the actual angelic part of them. Yeah.
They
drop by from time to time to visit. Yeah.
Oh.
Whenever I talk to people on Skype and stuff, they're like, "What? Yeah, there's thousands of orbs around you." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
So he's just pulling the blanket up over his face. Just
yeah. He's oblivious to it. He's a typical man. He's oblivious.
The feet are poking out the bottom. He pulled it so high, just way up there.
Yep. I don't want to see it. Don't want to feel it. Don't want to hear it.
Oh wow! This is a very fun show. Very, very fun show.
I've learned a lot.
I have lots of questions and further questions. I think we're gonna have to try to beg to have you on again.
Okay, that sounds good.
I think I need a moment to digest what I've learned and then come up with more questions.
Very cool.
for sure.
Who was it said there are no questions, only answers?
That's
Yeah,
true.
well, I mean, it's me, so I don't provide a lot of answers, but I do come up with some questions.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a
Wow.
lot to it. This is interesting stuff. And
How do you sleep at night?
I sleep
on my
fine.
side with a pillow between my knees.
Actually, because Ariel has so much energy, people are always telling me, don't you ever sit still? Don't you ever sit still? I'm like, why? I have so much energy to expend.
Mm.
So I keep going from 4:30 in the morning until I go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And when I hit the bed, I crash. So there
Okay,
you go.
so before we finish the show, tell our listeners about your books and any
Yeah, we got to
upcoming
go through.
ventures.
You got to go through your books. Now remember to go to her website. It's mysticconnections.org. Her name is June Lundgren. All these links will be in the show notes, and you can follow them through Facebook and all of the catchers and YouTubes and all that.
Yep, all of my books are on Amazon. If you're interested in the dark, there is a book called The Dark Side of the Paranormal, and I wrote it with a lot of information in it about protection, about how they work, and what their weaknesses are, what their fears are, that sort of thing. It's full of information and the types of demons there are, all that sort of thing. My first book I wrote was A Medium's Guide to the Paranormal. It gives a lot of basic information about a lot of different topics.
Very cool. Yeah,
And
she's got quite a few.
Yeah.
You can see them on her website.
We're
There's
looking
actually
at what?
there's
8 books here.
yeah, I've got 2 more that I hope to have out by July.
And it looks like there's even kind of a children's book here.
I wrote 2, Petals, Golden Wings, and that gets 5-star reviews. I don't know. People just they're by the time they get to reading it, they're crying. So it's like, okay.
Good.
And Susie's Big Adventure is
Yeah.
one I wrote
Just a
years
little-
ago about a Springer Spaniel puppy that comes to live on a farm in Eastern Oregon, and it's her adventures with Pork Chop the pig, Oscar the barn cat, and Thomas the rooster.
And next time we have you on, you also have an affinity for kind of communicating with animals or reading animals.
I do animal communication.
Yeah, so
I talk to them like I talk to you.
We'll bring my dog on.
Oh, cool.
And you can.
Jared is her emotional support person.
I was going to say they have a symbiotic relationship.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, you have a very symbiotic relationship.
She's spoiled rotten. She's mad at me right now, but she peed on the floor, so she has to go into her little cage.
I have a couple of pit bulls and an old Springer.
Yeah, she's a Yorkie, weighing in at, I don't know, 7 ounces, and
ankle biter.
Yeah, if that. Maybe heel biter.
Tiny little teeth.
Yeah,
Those are the kind that hurt really bad when they bite you.
Yeah, well, these ones aren't even sharp. She's just this, but she is a cute little dog, and I would like to know what she's thinking. So next time we'll have to do that. But thank you so much for coming on, and we'll get with Michelle, and we'll line up another interview. We'll give a few months and come back.
Yeah.
And I want to drill down.
I'm excited to read some of your books.
Yeah, and I want to drill down on some more stories. I want to hear some. I mean, those are exciting and fun.
Yeah, I'm headed for England next month.
Really?
For 3 weeks, yeah.
Okay, so are you going to be doing some work in England, or is this a vacation?
It's research for another book, plus I have a wedding to attend.
Oh,
very nice.
So win-win.
I'll be gone from June 12th through the end of the month.
Very exciting.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, safe travels to you.
Be safe, have fun, and man, that I do want to go to England one day. How are their lockdowns over there right now, or do you have to quarantine or anything?
It's amber right now, but they're saying by the 17th of this month it'll be green for the U.S.
Okay, good.
So then there'll be nothing. So
good. Yeah, Canada right now. I don't know if anyone's watched Canada. Canada, especially Alberta, is just getting wrecked by overreaching governments.
their mind.
Yeah.
Sounds like Portland, Oregon. Oh,
Yeah.
They've just lost their mind.
Yeah, they've gone crazy up there. They arrested that pastor, something ski, some Polish pastor. They arrested him out on the. It's crazy, not to get political on it, but
it's ridiculous.
I think they're showing what it means to not have a structured constitution. Well, they do, but to not really express it and to not have means of self-defense in the population. But anyways, thank you so much for coming on, June. This is a very fun show.
Yeah, it was so nice to meet you.
We're going to have to get you back on again real soon.
Sure.
So we'll reach out to Michelle, line up some days, figure out a time. I want to hear what goes on in England. Do you see, are the demons in England?
Are they English?
Are their teeth messed up? Do they wear bowler hats?
Not too many of them wear bowler hats.
Do they
This will be my third trip to England. So
okay. So yeah,
Stonehenge was interesting.
Oh, okay.
And the Tower of London. Yeah.
Save Stonehenge for next time because that's ancient. That's
that's
like.
And I met Henry VIII.
Okay.
What a butthead he was.
A butt.
Did you tell him?
Yeah. Yeah. He called me a witch, and I said, "Bite me. You're fatter and uglier than your pictures." And he slammed the door. He slammed the door shut, and I just laughed.
How's the gout, fool?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, June, and we will talk to you soon. We'll get in touch with Michelle, get something lined up, and get you back when you get back from England with her.
Okay.
And we'll drill down in on these stories more when you get back. So we'll have the dog. I want to hear about the Henry VIII story. He was a jerk, but he was a spoiled prince. But in his younger days, he was kind of an interesting guy.
I'm not going there with that one.
All right. You have a wonderful night. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. Take care.
You.
Bye-bye.
Bye.